Hi everyone. I wanted to share a thought about in Parshat Bechukotai, which is the second of this week's Parshiot, and link it to a very famous Rambam. And both, I think, the psukim in Parshat Bechukotai and the famous Rambam relate to what we're grappling with today in its purest form. So in Bechukotai, we have one of the two tochechot, the rebukes in the Torah, the other being in Kitavo. As an aside, it's very interesting to look at the different focus that each of those texts highlights. But for our purposes, we're not going to do a comparison. We're simply going to focus on Bechukotai as an independent unit. And in the Tochecha, the basic idea is that if you walk in my ways, then we're going to be blessed. And if you, namely us, Klal Yisrael, don't work on Hashem's ways, then things are not going to go well. And the term that the Torah uses multiple times throughout this parsha is ve'im bezot lo tishma'u li v'halachtem imi bekeri v'halachtim imachem b'chamat keri v'yisarti etchem afani sheva al chatotechem, which means if you basically don't listen to me, and halachtim bekeri, which means you treat me indifferently, like sort of randomly, without in a sort of casual, mikre means like random, in an indifferent, random way, then I'm going to basically respond, and your life will take on the quality of randomness, namely a lack of a Kadosh Baruch Hu's providence, hashgacha. And obviously, the worse our indifference to God is. The Tochecha paints a very graphic, destructive picture of what happens when that occurs, in the way that only the Torah can, from a nevuah, from a prophecy standpoint. Now, it's very interesting that the Rambam, in a very, very famous comment that I've grappled with for many years, and I've taught classes and asked them what they think it means. I still don't have 100% an explanation of this. The Rambam in Hilchot Ta'aniyot, in the section on fasting, in his in one of his 14 books, the one on holidays, the section on fasting, he says that if we're going through a public crisis and people don't cry out and they don't pray and they don't try to do tshuva, and they say, this is his language now in Halacha Gimel, in Perek Aleph Hilchot Taniyot, he says, El yamru davar ze mimin haga'ola meira. This is just random chance. V'tzarazo nikra nikret, which means this is just a natural phenomena. This is just sort of random. Harezo derech agzariot. This is basically a brutal way outlook. V'zogo remet lehem li damek b'maseim harim, and this makes them sort of perpetuate the bad behavior, and bad things are going to happen. Just like it says in the Torah, he quotes our parsha, v'alachtem imi bikeri, and then I'm also going to respond that way because you're not really responding the way that you should. I'm going to have to keep it going because in order to have you realize that things aren't random. Now, a famous question in the Rambam is, why is the Rambam calling this brutal? Why is that brutal? You could say it's evil. You can say it's heretical. Why evil? So I want to suggest, what is it about looking at the world as random, and specifically at tragic events as random, without being able to say exactly why bad things happen? We have no idea why. But certainly, the Torah's point of view and the Rambam's point of view is that we should, even if we don't know why it's happening, we should not relate to it as entirely random. And why is that brutal? So I want to suggest three ways of thinking about it. One is ben adam la'chavero, one is ben adam la'akom, and one is ben adam la'atzmo.